Thank you, Speaker. As often happens when we have these types of bills before us, we see that there is a lack of a fundamental understanding of the entirety of the chapter, and this bill reflects that, and I'm going to talk about some of the things that it does. You know, as far as the range situation with the 3 gang members coming onto a range and borrowing a firearm, man, that's the wrong place for a criminal to do something stupid with a firearm. You don't want to be on a range with a bunch of illegal gun owners when you do something stupid. So I think that problem kind of rectify itself. But let's talk about the practical aspect of this entire thing, which is not really being addressed. When an individual is in the process of purchasing or considering a purchase of a firearm, as with any other major purchase or something as sensitive as a firearm, they do their due diligence. In the state of Rhode Island, we require, by law, that if you wish to purchase a handgun, anybody wishes to purchase a handgun, they must take a safety class and get what is called a blue card. If you do not have a blue card, you are a prohibited person from purchasing a handgun. So now back to the scenario where I let someone borrow, and that's purchase and transfer according to this bill. If a person without a blue card, because they don't have the blue card because they haven't made their mind up as to whether or not they're going to purchase a firearm or a handgun, goes into a store or is on the range and they're otherwise perfectly appropriate to have a firearm, but for the fact they don't have a blue card, and I hand them a pistol, I have just sold someone who's prohibited under this chapter a firearm. Throw in the reasonableness in the language and everything else, and you create a situation where it will go to court. You will be arrested. You will sit in intake. You will go through the process. You will spend money on an attorney. You will go through all of that. And folks are okay with that, I guess. We're not. Because if a blue card, a person doesn't have a blue card, and I let them borrow it, now I have to defend myself in court. That's what this bill is doing. Hunter education, where we have kids, 12 years old and up. We hand them a firearm when we're training them. Of course, it's empty. In many cases, it's not even functional. But in the cases where it may be a functional firearm, we are selling them that firearm, if only for a minute or a second. It's an integral part of the process, of the learning process. You can't run a background check when you have 20 kids come in for a hunter safety class on every single one of them. You can't do it if they're adults. You can't do it on them either. When you walk into a retailer or a reseller of firearms and you say, hey, can I see that one? They will hand it to you and you will possess it, and you will, by the letter of this statute, be purchasing it. And if you don't have a blue card, or if you're a gang member, that dealer does not realize that and again, you have to be pretty stupid to do something foolish in a gun store, but let's pretend that they would. That all day long, they are selling a firearm when they hand it over to someone so they can simply inspect it. This is only helping lawyers. That's the only people who are going to get action off of this. And law-abiding citizens are going to get dinged by it. It's not stopping the underlying criminal act. Someone knows a couple of gun owners and said that they couldn't imagine those gun owners being opposed to this bill or to preventing straw purchases. And I'm here to tell you that you're absolutely right. No one in the gun community wants to enable someone who's otherwise disqualified from purchasing a firearm. In fact, our community is probably one of the best at self-policing in this area. We will rat somebody out in a New York second if we believe or if we know that they are a criminal. So we're creating a subclass of technical criminals, and it's being interwoven into the fabric of, as much as you may hate it, the firearm culture in Rhode Island.
30 seconds, please.
Thank you, Speaker. Which works fine based on all the data. We have some of the highest number of gun laws, and we have some of the lowest number of firearm crimes. We're not addressing an issue that is causing any sort of problems, we are creating a special class of clients that are going to go shoveling through the court system. And they're going to have their lives, careers, and their banks whacked around for it. That's all this is. That's all it is. It's federally illegal. That's the mother of all right there. A federal felony. We don't need to go on top of that.